Hi, I want to try something a bit different for this week's vlog. The reason is actually because I realized I haven't really filmed anything. I don't know if I just forgot that I vlog, so I guess it's time to talk about Batman. Yeah, so the new Batman movie came out titled The Batman, and I didn't talk about it in a vlog yet and do a review, and so that's what this is going to be. The Batman released on March 4th and has received just fantastic reviews. Directed by Matt Reeves, who has an interesting, actually, history. So he's directed 14 things. He directed Cloverfield, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War for the Planet of the Apes. Dawn and War, I like both of those a lot. I think those are great. I also am a fan of Cloverfield, though I wouldn't say it's like any of my favorite movies, but I enjoy it. He also wrote for Let Me In, wrote and directed and produced The Batman for Warner Brothers. And obviously we have Robert Pattinson as Batman and Bruce Wayne, Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle and Catwoman, Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon. We have Colin Farrell as the Penguin. We have Paul Dano as the Riddler. And then spoilers coming up here. I'm going to go full spoilers on this. John Turturro as Carmine Falcone, Carmine. Andy Serkis as Alfred. We had Peter Skarsgård in there. Barry, I don't know how you say his name, Keegan, as the Joker in a very short scene. A really good cast, and I mean that. No one was a slouch in this movie. There was no one who came on screen who was saying their lines, and I was like, I don't believe you as this character. I was pleasantly surprised by Robert Pattinson as Batman and Bruce Wayne. And I've said it once, and I'll say it again, and everyone else has said it too. He plays a very emo Bruce Wayne. Something about Batman is that it's always that Batman is the main personality, and Bruce Wayne is this fake personality. He doesn't have this fake personality yet. He's very much an orphan, stuck in with this obsession of Batman and vengeance and justice, as he calls it. And his arc through the movie, I thought was awesome. The first time I saw the film, I was blown away that he wasn't just vengeance the whole time, that he had this arc where he really got to become Batman and kind of really have this more... Batman's never been super hopeful, but he still stands for good, whereas this movie, he's kind of a little evil. And I really liked that transformation through there. And I'm perfectly fine with not having the billionaire Bruce Wayne philanthropist thing going yet. I think as a year 2 Batman, a lot of people are comparing this to year 1, as they should. I think the year 2 Batman idea actually pays off just so well in this. I think the suit looks really good. It reminds me a lot of the Arkham Knight suit. Just a little more squared off and a little more brought back in terms of like the cowl. I really like that he's got the full range of motion. I do think the collar is a little stupid, but that's just me. Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job. The arc that his character has to go through is fantastic. I loved it. Zoe Kravitz, I was not sold on her. I've seen the movie twice. I was not sold on her the first time. I wasn't sold on her before the movie. But second time, I tried to push aside all of my biases and really focus. And I think she does a pretty good Selina Kyle. A lot of people are calling her amazing. I'm very partial to Selina Kyle from the Arkham games because that's my main source of Batman, if I'm being honest with you, besides the movies that have come before us. I love Anne Hathaway. I think she has some fantastic moments in The Dark Knight Rises, and she's a terribly overlooked version of Catwoman. People forget she's in that movie, but she's awesome. She's one of the best parts of that movie. Every time she's on screen, I love her in that film. And Zoe Kravitz, I would say, is, for me, very near that level. She's doing a fantastic job. I don't like that we're back to I have cats and I love milk. Oh, it's so weird. I don't know why that is like a thing they do with Catwoman in these movies. Maybe she's like that in the comics. I don't really know. I do like the subtle like 9 lives joke and stuff like that. I feel like we're also seeing like a year one Catwoman as well. I'd like to see her get more of like the goggles and the actual ears and like get more comic booky with it, because this movie, while being very, very grounded in some aspects, is so comic booky in others. And it's in this film noir style, it wraps it up so nicely. Like Gotham is just insane. The Penguin feels like it's ripped honestly straight from the Arkham games, and that is about as much as I could ask for. Jeffrey Wright feels like, not that he's in a different movie, but he's very much the film noir aspect of the movie. He's always whispering kind of in his hush Jeffrey Wright voice, and I fucking love it. Jeffrey Wright, I watch him and like Bryan Cranston, I'll watch in anything. The Riddler. Now, the Riddler I didn't love the first time. However, the more I digest the character and the more I watch the character, I think that Paul Dano is a fantastic Riddler. I think we're seeing a lot of year one villains. We're seeing a lot of the starting of these villains. And Paul Dano, the Riddler is very masked. And that's very anti the Riddler from basically everything else that I've seen. The Riddler is always so big and bombastic and kind of like the Joker, but very like so full of himself. And that is something that I think Paul Dano as the Riddler could do in another movie. The scene where we see him in Arkham talking to Batman, I think fully shows what I think an Edward Nygma, a big Riddler feels like. It's just like the loud and even the kind of like weird crazy, like the no, like that sort of thing. This is not how it's supposed to go. That's very much Edward Nygma, and I love it. Yeah, Colin Farrell as the Penguin, just I'll watch him do that anytime. It was so funny. It was so good. He's fantastic. I have nothing else to say. I just love it. John Turturro's Carmine Falcone. Surprised. I was like, I know this guy from Transformers. He plays a wacky man. He was very menacing. Andy Serkis's Alfred. Barely saw him the first time I watched. I missed part of the scene where they're in the hospital talking together because I went to the bathroom. Saw that again the second time. Really love Andy Serkis's Alfred. He's a little like more meaner and tougher and younger Alfred, and I really enjoyed that. Elephant in the Room. Barry Keoghan as the Joker. I thought was pretty good. He really feels like a blend of all the Jokers that came before him in good ways and in bad. I think he does sound like Jared Leto's Joker and and Heath Ledger's Joker combined. I think his design is interesting. He looks like a zombie, reminding me of the Arkham games. He's fine. I think that there's a lot of Joker burnout, and rightfully so. So hopefully they would push him off to the third movie in this Batman trilogy. I really came around to it the second time. The first time I probably would have given it a 7. The second time, I'm going to spoil it right here. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's got an 8.3 out of 10. First of all, on IMDb, it's shot so extremely well. For 3 hours, this film has to look interesting, visually interesting, and it does. It looks interesting the whole way through. It's just shot so well. I think the only point where it's a little weird is probably the third act, in the fight there in the building, it's so vague, in the Gotham Square Garden, right? The not Madison Square Garden. That all feels a little weird. But Batman does some Batman stuff, and that's all I care about. It was cool. Anyway, the pacing is really good. I think the story they told is paced really well, and for 3 hours, it felt like maybe 2. It's just done so well. I know my mom would probably have a hard time. My mom is like the person to go to if you're like, is this movie too long for old people? This might be too long for my mom. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through some moments that I really enjoyed. So the opening monologue with Batman, I thought was simply just one of the best Batman things we've ever gotten on screen ever. Controversial take, I really like the opening of the original cut of Justice League where Batman is like using a dude for bait for a parademon. The way he's like on that gargoyle and like all those weird motions and very Batman-esque video game stuff that he does, I thought was really cool. And in the Batman, the opening monologue reminds me of just how scary Batman is supposed to be, and I thought it was just so well done. The Iceberg Lounge entrance as Batman, that was awesome. I love the fighting in the in the Iceberg Lounge in the club. I thought that was awesome. I thought the Batman stuff we have at the end where he's fighting all of the Riddler goons, I thought that was fantastic. If we're talking him solving things, I love the scene with the thumb drive. I thought that was great. The just absolutely fantastic car chase with the Penguin, just so well done. Mostly shot from the vehicles that they're driving. I thought that was so cool and a great way to ground the just insane car chase. Again, back to Batman solving stuff at the end when he rips up the carpet in the Riddler's apartment, and that whole scene, I thought that was really good. The intercutting of the bombs and the match cutting. Oh, the match cutting of the map to the that city street when it gets flooded. Every time they do that, they do it like 4 or 5 times. I thought that was just so well done. The first scene we see with the Riddler, where he kills the the first murder that happens right at the beginning of the movie, the opening scene with the Riddler. I thought that was just so well done as well. That's horrifying when the dude walks away from the TV. The mayor gets killed, and the Riddler's just standing there. He's got his white glasses, which I also learned are the same white glasses, or very similar white glasses to the ones Jim Carrey wore in in Batman Forever. I think that's so cool. Yeah, I thought that was just really well done. The Riddler, most of the Riddler scenes were basically just terrifying. I really have come to love the funeral scene with Bruce and that weird interaction with Riddler's. Waiting for Gil to crash through the front. That's so great. The first introduction to Catwoman in her apartment is fantastic. Well, to Catwoman, not Selena Kyle, specifically to Catwoman in her apartment, switching into her Catwoman gear and jumping out the side. I thought that was so comic booky. I loved that. The scenes of Bruce putting in the contact lenses, the recording contact lenses, and talking about how he journals just to keep the days straight and all. I thought that was awesome. The scenes where he's trying to solve the ciphers with Alfred, I loved all of that. The scene where he's calling Alfred, but the bomb's already gone off and we don't know that yet, and that's just such a fantastic way to tell that scene. This movie blew me away, and the more I think about it, the more I like it, and the soundtrack is stuck in my head at all times. When I think of this song, I think of Nirvana, and I think of the Batman's theme. Bum, 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 bum. It's just always in my head. And I loved it. I've never seen 7. I've heard a lot of comparisons to 7. I've never seen it, though I'd like to now, after seeing this. A lot of people say this is the Batman, but inside of 7. If we're comparing these to the Dark Knight trilogy, which I don't love that people only compare these because these are very different movies, I put this right up there with Batman Begins for me. The Dark Knight, I put at an 8, and Dark Knight Rises, I put at a 7. And these are recently reviewed scores as well, because I watched these movies again recently. Batman Begins is my favorite of the Nolan movies because I love the acting and the world building in that film. And the feeling of Gotham and the Narrows in that film is fantastic. And the Batman feels very similar. It feels like Arkham Knight Gotham, if you know what that is. The way Arkham Knight Gotham looks and the way the police feels and stuff, it's very much like the Batman. I'm so excited for the sequel. I'll be there. I'm in. I'm excited for the HBO Max shows as well. We've got the Penguin show and the Arkham Asylum show that they have both announced and they're working on. And I believe they're also being directed, if not at least produced by Matt Reeves. So we're going to try to keep that in that universe. I hope to God WB/HBO/Warner Media, whatever you want to say, they allow Matt Reeves to keep his creative vision for these instead of doing what they did with Zack Snyder. Hopefully they've learned their lesson by now. Anyways, I'm going to go do the work time breakdown, stop talking about Batman, and I'll let you go for the rest of your day. So I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Week 146 totals, that is 2,023 minutes. Good year? Hope so. 2023, let's go. 33 hours and 43 minutes. Yeah, nothing crazy. That's just it. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching. Feel free to check out twitch.tv/SkullHQ, where I do stream every single day, usually around 8:30, 9 p.m., somewhere in those hours. Been playing a lot of FPSs as usual. Apex Legends. Been playing some Fortnite, actually. That's a third-person shooter. We're going to be playing Blood Hunt when it releases, because Blood Hunt is awesome. We play a little bit of Halo as well. And we've been playing some Minecraft. So if that sounds like a fun time. I'm a variety streamer. Feel free to check that out. You can also check out my gaming channel if you'd like. That does exist. Feel free to subscribe here if you're not already, for a vlog/review every single week. And my social medias are also linked down below. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Favorite the video if it was your favorite. Don't forget to share the video, subscribe for more. What did you think of the Batman? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway.